Again, Bible life, health, and strength, Heavenly Father.
Thank you.
Thank you again, Heavenly Father, for able to feel it cold this morning, Heavenly Father, and let us know that our blood is still running warm through our veins. Heavenly Father, I ask you to protect us from this virus this morning, protect each and every one of us from this virus that's going around, Heavenly Father, and be with us. Continue to be with all our sick and shut in this morning, Heavenly Father. And bless the one who pressed their way our life, Brother Buckley, myself, Reverend Leatherberry, Heavenly Father. Continue to be with us. Be with our pastor this morning, Heavenly Father, and his family, whoever he may be, Heavenly Father. I ask you to continue to bless friendship this morning as a whole, Heavenly Father. Bless each and every one. Bless all our sick and shut in this morning, Heavenly Father. These are another blessing in Jesus' precious name. Amen.
Amen.
Our lesson today is corrupt leaders.
Yes.
I'm going to read our aims for a change. By the end of the lesson, we will understand God's requirement for the people and leaders, the value of justice, kindness, humility as a key of human virtue, and decide to be just kind, humble people and leaders.
Say it again.
And decide to be just kind, humble people and leaders.
Come on now.
Yeah, we need this in this day and time.
Yes.
I'm gonna read, keep in mind. He have showed thee, O man, what is good, and what do the Lord require of thee, but to do justly, to love mercifully, and to walk humbly with thy God. Malachi 6 and 8, King James Version. I'm gonna read this scripture, Malachi 3 and 1. Then I'm gonna jump down to Malachi 3rd chapter for the first verse to the 12th, and the 6th chapter from the 6th verse to the 8th. I'm gonna read in the NLT. Listen, you leaders of Israel, you are supposed to know right for wrong, but you are the very ones who hate good and love evil. You skin my people alive and tear the flesh from their bones. Yes, you eat my people flesh, strip off their skin and break their bones. You chop them up like meat for the cooking pot. Listen to me, you leader of Israel. You hate justice and twisted all that is right. You are building Jerusalem on foundation of murder and corruption. You rulers make decisions based on bribes. You teach God's law only for a price. You prophet won't prophesy unless you are paid. Yet all you claim depending on the Lord. No harm can come to us, you say, for the Lord is here among us. Because of you, Mount Zion will be plowed like an open field. Jerusalem will be reduced to ruins, and the thicket will grow on the heights where the temple now stands. Malachi chapter 6, starting at the 6th verse. What can we bring to the Lord? Shall we bring him burnt offering? Shall we bow before God Most High with offering a yearly calf? Should we offer him 1,000 of ram and 10,000 rivers of olive oil? Should we sacrifice our firstborn child to pay for our sins? No, O people. The Lord had told you what is good, and this is what he required of you to do, what is right, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with your God. And our subject today is talking about corrupt leaders. I'm gonna give you a little background history. The book of Malachi is a prophetic judgment against the royal family and the leaders in Judah during the reign of King Jonathan, Ahaz, and Hezekiah, as well as those who support them. Malachi is accusing these leaders of treating the people badly as they are meat. The leader of both nations are taken from the poor and the oppressed in order to make themselves wealthy in the kingdom of the corruption. The prophet Malachi, contemporary of Isaiah, speak to the southern kingdom of Judah. During this time, Israel is split, the north and the south. One part is the southern is Judah, and the northern kingdom was Israel. Israel already had fallen. Israel had been under threat of destruction and will eventually fall in the hands of Assyrians in 722 BC before Christ. Malachi warned to Judah is the same could happen to them if they continue their evil way. So they already had left God. Yes.
Malachi or Micah?
Oh, Micah. I said it wrong. My fault.
Oh, okay.
Micah, that's my fault.
Sorry, I was reading wrong.
No, you're right. I said it wrong. Micah.
Okay.
So you saying Malachi all the time. You barely say Micah.
Yeah.
And Micah. Israel already split. They already left God because what Solomon did. Even though he was the wisest man, but he did one stupid thing. You can't please a woman. You can please one woman. You can't please many women. To keep women off your head, off your mind, you trying to be a player and all that. You can do this, you can do this, you can do this. To keep them off of you, but they'll turn around and bit them at the end. He let them, instead of making them worship his God, he let them keep their gods. And that's one of the biggest mistakes he made. Before that, now Israel is divided up in two different kingdoms. They already been took it. And everything they knew about God is gone. These are the different generation of Israelites. Jonathan descendants and everybody that came over to the promised land is dead and gone. David is dead and gone. Solomon is dead and gone. Now these new saints, like we have now in our day, they don't know God like our parents and our foreparents put God in us. We had God in school. They don't know nothing about God in school. I remember the time we had to say the Pledge of Allegiance and say a prayer in school. School got started.
Amen.
I remember we got whooped in school.
Amen.
We got whooped. They ain't do no little 1-2 paddle swap. We got whooped. Then they whoop you and call your parents, then your parents whooped you when you got home. We in a different time, and this is what's going on in Israel. But the problem is a lot of body being split. It's not one God. Everybody want to do their own little religion and do the different things. And that's when the false prophets start coming in, like we have in our daytime. You know who your main preachers is, and you know who your Hollywood preachers are. Then you have some preachers, they just give you false hope. Give you hope dream. They just give you hope. They know they ain't gonna nothing come through. Let me read something for the people, place, thing about false prophets. While there were many true prophets in Israel, there was also false prophets. These false prophets often offer messages of hope and peace. These messages comfort the people without pointing out their sins or challenge them to repent from their evil way. The false prophet become rich from fees they charge in service. These prophets choose to seek after money rather than speak the truth to God's people. We see this in today's time. You got more preachers preach about prosperity. Back in the 70s, 80s, there was more into, these type of preachers was into, they want to heal you. What's his name out of Chicago? Reverend Ike. If you give me $5, I got an oil gonna heal you. Yeah. You know that oil ain't gonna do nothing to it, nothing behind it. All he wants is that money. And this is what these preachers doing. Then you got preachers down, they be on TV, they be in different churches. Yeah, they got a whole bunch of congregation people, but they not preaching nothing to heal their soul, their mind, and their body. They just doing something to make them happy, make them feel good. Once they hear the preacher, he can hoop, holler, all that, but ain't no substance, nothing in it. You want something gonna give you something to make it through this day. Yeah. And all these false preachers, all these, and you see what's going on today time. These people, all these preachers on TV preaching all this faith stuff, a lot of these people can't show no faith. Because a lot of them teaching it is false. It's no substance. You see the one of the people that have substance and have the word in them and know how to look for the word and show you the word, how to make it through. At a glance.
As you kind of read on down there, it was talking about the pagan.
Yeah.
And that's what we see in a lot of the churches
Right.
today, is that they kind of conforming to the
To the
world,
paganism, right.
to the world more than being ye transformed by the renewing of their mind. Because it's just like what we got today. Any excuse
Yeah.
not to go serve God.
Any.
But now you done seen them tracking snowstorm and everything to get up in their club, or to a ball game, or to something else, and that's what the church has got watered down, turning themselves away from God.
Right. And this what was going on with the Israelites. They had turned their way from now, they got so corrupt. They already got the people they getting enslaved by taking money from them. Now the preachers taking money. They had a preacher on there hollering, fussing about these preachers shouldn't shut down their church. One preacher had a mega church, a well-known black pastor. He said, I got 20 people in my church alone got that virus. I can't have it open. But I'm still gonna do the service stuff. I can't get the seniors in my church sick because these people got it. I made them stay home. And then the people turn around talking about he not showing no faith, and the other preachers talking about he not showing faith and stuff. But the first thing that man did, the one who doing the fussing at everybody, talking about these preachers not showing their faith and they all this, he got cash out, vilified, to make sure the people that turn their money stuff in. But you sitting there fussing at the other preachers now. And they doing their sermon stuff online and doing their stuff. Yes, time is changing. But now we're going to really see who is a true prophet, who is a fake prophet. Now we're going to see people who are really for us, who is really against us. Now people going to really start looking. They let Donald Trump get in, because they just thought, oh, he ain't going to. Now they wish they never did. But things going to start opening up so we can see. And at a glance, we're going to talk about today the leaders of evil desire, leaders of corruption, and God called. Leader of desire, a leader of Israel, including government leader, priest, prophet, business leaders, and more, had turned their hearts from God. God will. They have been given God covenant laws and supposed to be an example of righteousness and behavior for all those around. These preachers had turned their back totally. You pay me, I come preach at your church. You pay me, I talk what you want to talk about. Some churches now preachers, as long as they ain't talking about the deacons sleeping with the missionaries, if they ain't talking about keep the church, do their sermon as nice and calm, peaceful, don't point out the wrongs in the church. These are preachers these churches are getting it. They're having more problems now than ever. Leaders of corruption. Mordecai said the leaders are attempting to build up the city, but at the expense of the poor. This is how the United States was built, and this is what is going on still today. The United States was built off the backs of the blacks. They don't want to admit it. This was exactly how it was built. But they was taking the poor to do the labor. The rich ain't gonna do the labor. They're gonna use the poor. And God called.
Brother teacher, what are some of the things that we seen that before this here, what is it? Anyway, this COVID-19. What have we seen where the government leaders, what it says, government leaders,
Talking about government.
right, where you read leaders evil desires.
They turn their heads from God will.
Yeah, business leaders
Yeah.
and stuff. Where do we see a lot of that where they have turned themselves from God's, because it ended there, God's will?
You can go back all the way to Kennedy to see that.
Oh yeah.
Kennedy always, even though he was Catholic, you hear God's name being called. God will. Donald Trump don't talk about God will. He don't care about God will. He think about the power he gonna have, the power he gonna lose. Kennedy, you looking from Kennedy all the way up to say Kennedy up to Bush. Most all the, even from Reagan. By now the military were being called in, being placed. They let the Army Corps engineer, which they were designed and made for, to build hospitals, to build the field, have the military ready to help to serve. He would not call the military in at all because power. That means that be the power he gonna lose. He can't say, he can't get up there. If you notice, every time he say something, that doctor come back and contradict him and tell him, nope, nope, I'm not gonna do that. This is the man you got the whole world know can make the medicine. He tell you, I can't make that medicine that fast. If I make that medicine that fast, I know I kill half the people. But he's still studying, trying to push the thing. Donald Trump so caught up with money and power, he won't even let, he got the right to set that order in for the military. That would make General Motors and them start making cars to make the stuff we need. This is what Brother Letterberry was talking about. We seeing that in this time now. Yeah, Deacon.
Yeah, and, well, also they look at what's causing these people to do the things that they're doing. Well, how that relates to what's happening right now.
Money.
Well, the government leaders right now, they're going along with marriage, men with men, women with women.
Come on now.
There you go. Yes.
That's the part. He got
Yeah.
right to that part.
Yeah, I'll get to that. Yep.
They be doing that.
Right.
Yes.
And you had the Civil Liberty Union, you know.
That's the biggest problem.
Way back in the day, it was for helping blacks, you know what I mean?
And they
Yeah.
changed their
When it
whole,
come down to it now,
who they
Civil
is.
Liberty is jumping in, taking the prayer out of school,
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
doing all these things.
Yeah. That's it.
So these are the leaders.
These are the leaders, yes. They taking everything so they can have control.
And this country is divided. This nation is divided.
And that him piggyback on that
Right.
was that we have to remember what the word telling us.
Mm-hmm.
It is, he said, in that day of my coming, it will be worse than it was in the day of Sodom and Gomorrah. Men giving to men,
Right.
and women, you know, they was in a perverted state.
Right.
And that's what we're seeing today.
That's what they're saying, say ain't nothing new under the sun.
Right.
It was gonna come back around when he
Right.
got. And
Right.
another thing.
When he hit that's the thing that I said, how we done got away from God's will.
We got away from God's will. If you remember, if you go, when I was studying in school, from Thomas Jefferson, from George Washington, they had church in the White House. They had prayer in the White House.
Yeah.
If you know how the monument is set up, where the White House is set up, it's set up as the kingdom of heaven. They set it up just like the Israelites now set up the temple. When they had the different tribes and the difference from the east, two on the east, two on the west, two in the north and south, that's what the White House set up. The United States forgot about God. And they let other gods coming in and take them from the main God. Before they even open up session, they have a prayer. If you notice how they do prayer now, their prayer stuff be so watered down, you be like, what they doing?
And see, bro, it's like a ignorance, because they say separate God and state.
Right.
But yet they had put their hands on the Bible to swear the president in.
They,
See,
can't separate
it. It's just a symbolic.
Right, that's
One of them got to be, because what he said, you can't serve two masters
That's why
You
the
love
forefathers, as he was
and hate
saying,
the other.
As he was saying, that's
how
what our
you swearing-
forefathers-
How you swearing in on the Bible, and then you say the government and the church should be separated.
but when they set up the United States, they made sure so God could not be there. They needed God. Because the British didn't let them worship God like they wanted to. That's why they came to America. They made it so we can't forget about God. They said we're going to put it on the money. When every time they look at their money, they cannot forget about God.
This is what Mike is saying.
That's exactly what he's saying.
It's right on it, ain't it?
Corrupt leader.
Yeah.
A corrupt leader.
How can you read, you got the Lord's covenant, but yet you doing opposite. You know better.
And the laws.
Yeah.
The law is straight from the Bible. You cannot have no society, even you try to run your own little sect, have your own religion, whatever, you gonna still use the Ten Commandments law to keep your law. You can't take God out of nothing. It don't matter how much they try, they're gonna steal to God. Let me read this liberty lesson. We live in a polarizing society today where injustice abounds. Children are separated from their families. People go without food and shelter. People are persecuted for their beliefs and behavior. God-faithful people know, however, that God will restore true justice to the land. They realize that no matter what others do, they must continue in their faith with just action, love, humility. We may or may not be able to effect change at a society level, but we are always required to make sure our own personal actions are in step with God's law. Make sure, if like for me and my house, we serve the Lord. We gonna make sure, you gotta make sure your house is in order with God. If everybody make sure their house in order, everything else will come in order. Don't try to run somebody else's house. You gotta take care of your house. Make sure you falling within the line what God is saying.
Kind of before you move on there, brother, and that is the thing. And I encourage brothers and sisters that be tentative in your hearing, because you said something. I heard Trump for the first time say, "This is God's whatever God."
Right.
Purpose.
He had to give God.
He said that this morning. For the first time I heard it. And I said that to him, and I said, because anybody can be turned. But notice what he's doing. He done relieved all his authority to all the governors, the mayors, anybody that can get a mask or get a ventilator, they already got authority from him, because he know. If y'all remember back when he turned around and said, "I'm like God myself."
Right.
Remember?
You're right.
I don't know if y'all I know you probably seen it, because you remember the evangelist laid hands on him, talking about who he was, the coming Messiah, and all those things done transpired, and we done seen in these last 4 years, 3.5 years.
And another thing, God gonna show you that He's God.
Yeah,
He waking the church up. He waking people to show I
Yeah.
am God. He is not God. See, Donald Trump, he can't see. Another thing to show about him how weak he is.
Yeah.
How did Reagan, Bush, and even Obama, when the diversity come, they stood up as leaders, but they also mentioned God.
God's will.
When he sent us out to war, he said, "If God will."
God's will.
He said, "Please pray for our nation." Donald Trump never once said about praying for our nation. You hear it out of Obama's mouth. You heard it out of Reagan's mouth. After he abound Gaddafi, he said, "Please pray for our nation, so we don't have to be forced to make this decision again." He breaking Donald Trump down because Donald Trump don't want to look bad. So for him to not look bad, I'm gonna give the governor the power. If they make a mistake, it be on them. But ain't the way God can work things out.
Well, see, when he releases like that, bro, he putting it back in God's hand.
He put it back in God's hand because he can't control it. He don't know how to control it. He don't know what to do. He can't push the bump and drop a bomb. He can't send the military in, so he don't know what to do. And it's often strange. Other people, they had a chaplain using up there and stuff. They had somebody say he will not. He's very defiant, but he's getting broke down his own
No,
way.
you breaking him down. You seeing it.
Because he losing the power. People's not listening to him. They looking at him like, you can't lead us.
Yeah, you see him up at that the totem pole, and he get Pence. He got the little doctor, all them up at the mic. Get on up there.
Get there.
He used to sit up
And
there.
that doctor constantly chewing him down. He said, I don't know what he's talking about.
Yeah, right.
So people is listening to the doctors now. They're not really
Right.
listening to him. He looking like,
Right.
oh, y'all don't want to listen to me. He don't have that control.
Yeah.
You can talk that mess,
God is
but
awesome,
the truth
man.
gonna come out. They're gonna see. Be a leader. Situation is gonna come up, and you got to lead.
Yeah.
If you're head of the deacon, a situation come up, you're going to lead. You're a missionary, even as a teacher, a situation come up, you got to take control of the class and lead. That's part of being a leader. And you train people how to lead. Donald Trump was taught by his daddy. His daddy wasn't no good. His daddy took from the black. His daddy did his business off the backs of blacks. His daddy wasn't no type of leader at all. His daddy was never allowed in certain groups. If you know about Donald Trump, he tried to get in NFL. He couldn't get in. He always tried to be, the other billionaires can get in, be in different stuff. He never could. And everything he tried to do, if you notice, has always been tore down and being destroyed and taken from him. He know he gonna lose his presidency. He gonna lose because he not handling the situation right now. He's too much a corrupt leader. And God gonna expose corrupt people. Because he gonna let his people shine. How this little old doctor man is outshining the president of the United States. People want to hear for him. They ain't listening to nothing what he got to say. The military waiting on him to give the word to say what to do. And like the Reverend said, he lose it, it go right back to the people. It go back to God, so God can get the glory.
And it goes to the
And
people.
God right now is trying to bring our faith to the point, like with Malachi trying to get Israel, you got to get your faith back. People, they stop fasting and praying. They forgot believing. And God gonna show you that I am God. And I can open doors nobody else can do. You're gonna have to come back to me. But my people who believe in me, believe in my son that died on the cross, is covered under the blood. And their faith gonna show.
Come on up.
This is what Malachi is trying to show Israel. We got to get back where we is. We don't, we'll lose everything. Like talking about the culture of corruption and abuse spreads, and soon landowners begin taking advantage of farmers. We seeing this now. How a man in Michigan lost his house off of $8.49.
That's awful, ain't it?
They took his house,
Like $8.40.
and the house is worth $250,000, and they took it. Somebody trying to pay it. They said, nah, they took it. Ain't no way you can pay it. So once they take it, they say you can't pay for it.
Foreclosed.
And then they sold it for almost $300,000. They didn't get that man none of that money, and they kept it. This is when we know the land and stuff getting correct. That's why God wants us to get closer to him, and we got to stay with him.
We can take that all the way back to slavery.
Yes, same thing. It's the same thing. Nothing ever changed. See, all the business is just buried.
They believe in God.
Right.
But they don't want to, you know what I mean? They don't want to teach the slaves nothing.
It's power. Power make people, then when black finally got freedom and got it, they try to use that power against our own people and then hurting our people.
Reading through it, like you're saying, breaking the bones and things of that nature.
Right.
We, black people, the slaves been through
Right.
They've been through it.
And another thing right now, blacks have been through it. But we at the generation now, we don't have that many people that been in it. Now, you notice every black people now, they walking around. Let me get this yard. I'm gonna pay $1 for this yard over here. They finna start back growing vegetables. They finna grow. Black people finna start going back to what got them through. And people gonna be running around, oh, we don't know what we gonna do. We gonna start back going to, people gonna be growing, be selling beans, peas like they used to. You gonna have no farm, they gonna start back, coming back, growing. Things gonna go back how it's supposed to be, because God got a way to make things go back. You can't forget where you come from, and you can't forget who He is. It's like Israel keep forgetting when they get high and mighty, they get a little money in their pocket, they forget. And God had to break it down. Okay, I'm gonna take everything away from y'all. Yes.
And you know that we go back to the time of Moses and the captivity.
Mm-hmm.
And when they were brought out, they were brought out with great substance.
Right.
We're seeing that now. We've been crying reparations. But here it is. Now he trying to get everybody a $1,200 check by April. This is how fast God can work. And then this gonna be continued. See, he said, my poor and needy is always with me. You know, and so now he's ready to deliver his people. We ought to be rejoicing and shouting, because we're in a time of being delivered from all that what he just discussed, the slavery, the bondage. We got Chinatown, we got Greektown. We ain't never had a prosperity for us. We've been the consumers.
Right.
We've been the purchasers. We've been the ones that built this country.
Right.
Because why? And we're still there because we the one that go out and buy the $250 tennis shoes. We go out and buy the best dress. We always lead in that. Always. So that in saying that is that we ought to be rejoicing now. You know, yes, we don't want to go through no virus and stuff, but He gonna bring us out, and we coming out with great substance.
And
We gotta be watchful.
And another thing to hit on what you're talking about. In time of trouble or storm, when the Egyptian was after the Israelites, they hollering they was hungry. Did He not give them quail and manna to eat? During this time, our money problems and that $2 trillion, Donald Trump don't want to give that up. You know why? He cut from Social Security, Medicaid, he took from the military, he took from people IRA. That's that back money he got. That's why he always hollering the money is already, that $2 trillion he couldn't cut. All them people, and another thing, all them black women he fired for the food and drugs, to do the health. You know now he got to hire them all back. Because this what's going on. That little white doctor said, I need that black woman, I need that other black woman. He had to hire all 5 of them black women back and pay them because he need them to break that drug how he wanted. Everything this man gonna do is coming back, but we got to know, don't lose sight what's going on.
We gotta be vigilant.
We gotta be vigilant what's going on.
That's it.
Their money, because the first thing they gonna say, the first thing Congress is gonna say, oh, you get that money to the black, they ain't gonna spend no money in the neighborhood. The first thing they gonna do is go to the weed man and then they go to the club. That's why the church got to get these people mind ready what to do.
Come on now.
That money, pay your bills, get yourself ahead. That gonna be free money. You don't take free money and mess yourself up. You can get yourself ahead. If you could take that money and pay 3 months worth of rent, That's money freed up, what you can do what you need to do to get yourself ahead.
Yeah.
They not just one bill.
Right. Get caught up.
Hey, God knows. God knows.
And when you hit it, just what you just said, you notice now they talking about, well, ain't nobody got to pay their bills on certain stuff. People got be crying about it. God is blessing you.
Yeah.
And during this time, we are getting blessed. We're telling people, don't worry about that virus. It's going to be blessing in the storm. It's going to be blessings in it. But see, people forget, through the storm, you get blessed through it. They don't believe. And you can go right through it. Yes, our people been to slavery. But out of that slavery, how many kids was really hungry? They had clothes. And you look at the people back then to now, they were dressed, especially in the 40s and the 30s. They were walking around with suits, ties. They were dressed up. You like, man, they were dressing sharp back then. We were watching a movie on Netflix the other day about Meta Walker. How she got the hair product stolen, got it started. And you look how they were dressed, it's like, man, they are dressed. They was dressed. And they ain't had nothing. They grew their food, they grew the animals, and they ate. Like my grandma and them used to talk about, they had a hog farm. My grandfather, on my mama's side, he had cows. He had all type of cows. They'd swap meat. And that's how everybody ate. And if somebody didn't have, they look, I got extra, I got too much meat, he'll take it. And everybody ate. And the food they said wasn't worth eating. And then it's off the street they paying top dollar for that same food now. That's why I said God will bless you when you're going through stuff. He will take you through, and he'll make it seem like you wonder how you made it through. And that's when you be saying, thank you, Jesus. They say when you see somebody, why they crying like that? You don't know what they've been through. And they made it through.
Bless you going in and come out. Yeah.
And you realize it. I made it through and didn't think I was gonna make it through.
And that comes back, brother. We should be looking at what did they do at Black Wall Street there in Tulsa. You know, we should study it, because see, if we don't, like he's saying, if we forget history, it's due to repeat itself. So the thing it is, let's not forget, that was a prosperity time. And the only reason it ended is because of evil leaders in construction of this country.
And Donald Trump want to go back to them times so they can take control of their time. Now, just imagine everybody got that. Say everybody was married and they got to 2,400. You know, if everybody in the city of Flint, blacks, took the $400, invest in that grocery store on Cloud Road, just buy your $400 share. You know, less than a year and a half everybody will be a millionaire. Less than half of a year. Because that store will be big enough, because there ain't no other store really around. Then you got Landmark, Great Giant, but you will beat them. You would stop people from going to Great Giant. You would stop them going, because everybody was going into that restaurant, into that grocery store.
What you done invested in.
That's what you invested in. And just like we all took, let's say everybody in this church took their money and invested in and get 3-4 houses. Them 3-4 houses will multiply into more things. This is what Malachi is trying to get Israel back into. You can't take God out what you're doing, and you letting these false prophets come in, sell you hopes, dreams, and they ain't hitting on nothing. All they want to do is take your money. All they want to do is take your money. Every time you walk around, they want something out of your money. Money, 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 money. You got preachers now fussing at other preachers because they shutting their church down. Then you got other preachers jumping on there talking about, well, how they gonna pay their money? How they gonna do this and that? You know? And this is what the time stuff we living in. And you got to understand when the preachers who really, we're gonna really see who are the real preachers now. And a lot of churches gonna do a swing. It's gonna shock a lot of people. People want realness. They see too much fake. They see too much lying and deceiving. Then they want to be now they want to be in a real church. They want to see God manifest and moving and doing things. Because going to the biggest church and being a nice ain't getting you nowhere. And time is switching. There's a question here I want. Okay. Based on Malachi prophecy, what was the primary source of motivation during this time and period in Jerusalem? Based on the prophecy of Malachi, what was the primary source of motivation during this period in Jerusalem? You remember when he said about Jerusalem, Jerusalem's going to fall. And what city right now in the United States is falling? And that control money. New York.
Yeah, they said New York got the most.
New York got the most right now. If New York fall, the world will stop and money will stop. And another thing, they had another question that was funny. What outward religion activity did Israel think God would be pleased? They thought God wanted so they could be back in his grace.
Sacrifice.
Right.
Offering.
They think giving sacrifice. But during that time, who is the only one who can do the sacrifice? Right. Judah. They was the only one who could do sacrifice. So how can other people do sacrifice? How can they offer something to God? That's why Malachi was telling them priests they got to get themselves clean. Get themselves back sanctified. Because really right now, they're not going in the temple. Because they know soon they walk in the temple, they dead.
Yeah.
They're not going in the holies of holies. Temple's going to be destroyed. That's what the Bible is saying. It's going to be destroyed. They can't walk in there. That's why they changed their teaching, because they know they're so messed up. So they think they give 10 rams and give more.
Yeah.
And just like the world today think, oh, we give more money and stuff, we can get out of it. Money ain't going to get you out of everything. And that's what Donald Trump figuring out right now. Money ain't gonna get you nowhere this time.
That's why.
There's something going on right now. Money can't do nothing about it. Money ain't got no value. And you notice something now? All the beer company, they shutting down.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden they making hand sanitizer.
Yeah.
And the man said he making more money doing hand sanitizer than he was selling beer.
Yeah.
Now he switched all his stuff and said he's not going back selling beer. He said, I'm selling sanitizers there, need it done. I have it set up so the churches can get it. See, things is changing. People, the stuff that have power, it was nothing for God. God is changing everything. It's just changing for our eyes. We got to be ready.
Well, what we're seeing is the corruptible being turned incorruptible.
Right.
Yeah, they humbling themselves. And you remember in Scripture it says their weapons shall be pounded into plowshares. Just what brothers say. You're gonna see more gardens, urban gardens, and everything coming up because you ain't gonna be able to go to the grocery store. You know, what is it to have a MAC-10 now, or a AK-47, or be able to have what you just say he was making? The beer place?
Oh, Bush beer, all of them.
No, but what he making?
Oh, hand sanitizer.
Hand sanitizer. Would I rather have hand sanitizer or AK-47? Which one gonna help me now the most?
And another thing was going on. See, I'm gonna say this right. Things that was glorified and loved, people gonna find out they don't need it. And watch how people handle their money now.
Including
Think about it, movies shut down. Ain't nobody hollering for somebody going to movies. Oh, I can pay that little money and watch the little thing at home. I ain't got to worry about where the movie. Things gonna change. The bars talking about, oh, you making no money. Y'all wasn't there supposed to take money from the. Y'all was taking money from the community. Y'all ain't put money back in the community. And the restaurants is talking about, oh, the people won't come here and sit down, but y'all doing takeout. Y'all still making money. Y'all still making money. And you know who winning right now? The grocery stores. Because they sitting with the president and they're like, go ahead, keep scaring them. They buying everything up.
And then order anything till you buy it all out.
Yeah.
Right.
They not ordering nothing. That's what they doing.
They're not going to order nothing until everything's gone.
They gone. Yeah.
Then they're going to order and going to make people wait, going to start another frenzy. Like these white guys out in Grand Blanc. Bought up 1,700 hand sanitizer. Went on eBay and trying to sell it for almost $500 a case.
Yeah.
They got shut down so bad from the governor. See, white people always want to make money in distress and tired time. That's what Malachi is telling Israel. We in a bad situation right now, but they always want to make money in a bad situation. It's awfully strange, money always float around in bad situations. If they need money to run around in the government, they got to start some type of war, get into it with somebody, and all of a sudden money start coming up. All that money Donald Trump was going to take, and he think he going to start his little war. Now he got to give that money up to make himself look good. Oh, they make him look good. He can give up $2 trillion, but he already took $2 trillion from everybody.
Yeah.
How he raised the taxes and stuff.
Yeah.
Now he got to give that money back. That's why God said he'll take it from the unjust and give it to the just. And Malachi want Israel, they have to get the false leaders. He telling the false leaders, y'all got to change y'all ways. Micah. Did it again. Micah. Micah was telling these leaders to be, and you see it now in these churches, these false leaders, they going to the wayside. But we got to get into the government and the city council now, these false leaders. Everybody that represents your ward don't have your best interest. Everything to do with money. It's deal with money. But if they have God in them, it should be bought for the people so the money can come in the neighborhood. Ombudsman supposed to help to get some kind of business, something come in. When the last time you seen the ombudsman bring any type of money in, get some kind of job, something come in? All day the ombudsman then was doing, letting money going out in the neighborhood. And they're gonna try to figure some way to get that tax money. To get that Senate money they're gonna give to everybody, talking about they want them to invest in the neighborhood, to spend money at the. My wife said, if we do get that money, we gonna sit on it. And what do you see what God gonna say? If everybody sit on that money and don't spend it, it gonna hurt them. Cause some of these business is open should not be open because they hurting the people. They taking from the people. And they hurting the people.
I don't want to take too much from your lesson.
Go ahead.
But getting that money is taking a group and start investing. Invest because stock is so low.
Yeah.
You know, like you say, if you're gonna put the money away, it was $1,200 and a half. Put it on a stock because eventually it's going up.
Everything gonna go back up.
It's gonna
They
go
gonna
back
want
up.
you to divest.
And see, that's something we very weak in. Where because all we done had money is to survive. We ain't never had money to invest in how to empower ourselves.
Right.
Yeah.
And you notice too.
Yeah, but you done heard of these groups. That's all they do. They get together, they put their money in a pot, and then they go and set it in the stocks.
That's why I say about that grocery store. If everybody just take that $400, is get you a 400 share in the next supermarket. Cause one supermarket will lead to another. That supermarket was gonna be big enough so other people can come in and open up another one. Then they can go against the Save a Lots, Kroger's. See, Kroger don't want that supermarket never to get open. Cause it will, they'll shut them down. Cause really they'll move them out in the black neighborhood.
They already done moved out.
They already moved out
But they moved out to put us in a stress.
in a stress
situation.
thing, but it won't be stressed no more. And the only people you gotta worry about is the Landmark people, Mr. B's. They just money grabbing. They jumps, okay, we don't make no money in the supermarket. We go open up a 7-Eleven again.
And that happened, if you really wanna look at something, look at Genesee Valley.
Yep,
They moved that out there, but bust us out there and told us to be back in the town by 9 o'clock.
mm-hmm,
See, don't want you out there, but come out here and spend your money. And that's what Kroger's is doing now.
yep.
Come out here, spend your money, but get back to town before dark. We don't want you out here after dark.
And just
See,
like,
those are the things that we have to be vigilant, again, watch as well as pray.
and another thing, like you said, yeah, they want you to come out there like Genesee Valley. They don't want no, if you notice, in that area, they don't want no houses. And the houses they do have, they trying to buy them, they gonna buy them out and try to put more business out there because they don't want thing. Because really right now they realize the white people don't have the money no more. They don't really have the money. The black people got the money. Black people just come together as one. They can shut a lot of stuff down.
Vigilant.
The thing is, not to get off the subject, lesson, but the thing
No,
is,
it's going with the lesson.
the thing is, they want you to go out there and buy stuff and be back before dark. You understand? But there's a reason for that. We have our own stores.
Right.
If it get dark, we be up on each other.
Right.
You wanna rob me? They're like my daughter, they stole her purse right off the counter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
She was at the hair store.
yeah.
You know, they just took it right out. Ran all with it. But I'm saying is our own people are our own.
We are our own worst enemy. But them different environments, them different stores, allow them people to be like that. You remember the old black store owners? Older by St. John when they had stores?
Yeah.
They didn't let you hang around their store, do all that stupid mess.
Yeah, but we walk down the streets of St. John all hours of the night. Nobody robbed you, nobody hit you.
That's the mindset we got to get. Cause you remember those store owners didn't let you lie together, let the drunk, they kick the drunks off. And they may let the drunk hang around there and hang around until they drink their little wine and stuff. They know they mind stuff. Gone. You mess with my customers. Gone. But the Arabics, the Chinese group, they want the blacks to hang around.
Yeah, they do.
They want the mess to come around. Cause they can and put that stronghold. That's what he talking about, the corrupt leaders. And see, they don't invest in remember Monday store used to be open, different black store was open around. They didn't invest back into the schools, into the neighborhoods. These stores stuff don't invest back into it. Kids want basketball jerseys for the summertime. The store is sponsoring, so their name will be on it. They don't want to invest back in the neighborhood they take the money from. If the blacks come together as one, like I said, we invest and we come together, we can take over and we can run these people out, and our neighborhood would come back as it should be. And this was Malachi trying to do with Israel, bring everybody back together, get them back with God. We can get on one page and God can bless.
If we could, like you said, use Black Wall Street as a model.
Right.
If we could do
That's why they broke up St. John Street and put the expressway stuff over there, because it was too much money sitting over there and they didn't reach nowhere else.
That's correct.
The money was just there.
Right, just move around. Yeah, you're right.
If you didn't have the money to pay for stuff at the time, they let you go, and you come back when you have your money, here you go. They have a box or something, you have your name on it, they put it in, you remember this market on the thing? They'll mark it off. Somebody had no milk, they'll mark it off.
Brother Jesus, may I read this,
Go ahead.
one part out of, that God's call and how
Yeah.
he got it, and it's down in about halfway the paragraph. It says, Michael's prophecy in keeping with other Israel prophecy clearly indicates that the inward condition of one's heart in the importance of acting justly toward neighbors are of more concern to God than outward religiously. God doesn't require outrageous sacrifice. He has already said what he requires. And that's the thing we have to first do,
Right,
is changing in our hearts.
change our heart.
Just like you said, what happened to your daughter.
Right.
Let's see, that we're doing it to each other
That's right.
because of the heart.
Right.
And until that heart changes in the heart.
And you had to respect back.
And that's where all of us come in, because you are religious leaders.
Right.
So when somebody come in there, we can't give them the same heart they come in with.
Man,
A heart to change to what God, back to God's will. That's our duty. That's the way our
yeah,
circumstances.
we gotta be back
Our
more
purpose.
hospitable.
Our purpose for being here. Not that I'm a assistant pastor or I'm deacon and this is where I sit and this, no. It's gotta be, I see that person's need and I'm gonna nurture their heart until it turns back to the will of God.
Right. That's the whole point. And Malachi was trying to tell them, do not, because they doing wrong to you, you don't turn around and do wrong to nobody else. That heart thing. Because people taking stuff for you, you don't go take for nobody else. All this is going to be a cycle that ain't going to never quit. Preachers stealing, not preaching the word, not getting people strong in their faith so they can move and improve themselves. You want to keep them down. All it is power to keep people low, down, so you can look good and you can take for them. God wants everybody to prosper and be blessed.
Amen.
And that's what our Sunday school lesson is about, corrupt leaders, how corrupt leaders will hold you down, take things away from you so they can have control. But during these times, we cannot let them take control, and you got to know the word, know that Bible, and know what carry you through, get you through. Because when people see you go through and make it, your light is shining. They want to know why you not running around worrying and what's going on. He said, I got God. All I can do is pray on and let it go. I ain't gonna stress myself out. People running around buying 12 toilet paper for what? You ain't gonna use that. You gonna wipe that butt that many times? All you doing is taking for somebody else. And what's gonna happen now? They're gonna have all this extra stuff. And guess who's gonna get all this extra stuff at the end? All these churches gonna start ending up having a pantry again. And then God's gonna see God take a bad situation and make it just. And that's exactly what he was doing in Israel. This is our lesson from today. And I hope y'all got a good understanding from it. And I hope I did the best I could so you can understand it. Now I'm back to the hand.
Amen. Amen. Give our teacher a hand. Good job. Good job. Brother Buckley coming on. He coming on with